think illness is a lesson for it?
Illness.
Yeah. Whether it be MS or like something like dengue illness or a lesson for us, or do you think it's just what's happening?
It's just what's happening.
So there's absolutely there's not really a cause of these things.
As far as the message is concerned, it's just what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, in the world of appearances, there are causes and effects.
Yeah.
For example, the seeker, maybe not even a seeker is required, but if a body continuously exercises and eats salad every day and does certain practices and stuff, then that person is perhaps less likely to contract a flu or a cold, you know?
Yeah.
And then there's another body that's apparently, in its own story, not eating salad, but junk food, and not exercising. It's like, it's a story, but that body is apparently more likely to contract a cold or something. The immune system is so. When it comes to MS and stuff, as far as this is concerned, there's no reason.
No.
Again, some people may apply a meaning to that this is here to teach me, I'm here to find my purpose in life. But it's been it's the me is an illusion. It's walking on very thin ice. It's got no substance to it, and so the meaning that the me applies to everything is part of the seeking story. And this seems, that can be very hard to swallow for me, if not impossible. But it seems more and more obvious as that me drops away that everything's it's not horribly or coldly meaningless. It's wonderfully meaningless. It's full of wholeness, but not necessarily just for an apparent body without an apparent me, is it obvious that there's no meaning. But if you just go into the woods or into nature, you don't have to go very far to see that all of this, the trees and the mountains and the landscapes, it's like, there's obviously no meaning there. That's just beautifully expressing itself as the abundance of nature. There's no meaning.
So I've got a memory of childhood, basically, as a kid, and I seem to remember, thinking, you could have did that, now this is happening, you mean?
Right,
a actual memory of that kind of stuff, So now why could be now I've dropped this on the floor, now mummy's angry, now daddy's angry, it's like, now I've got to give it up, it's like, you just those little things, like, you can't grasp the idea that something happens when that, and that's the kind of momentum of life picking up, isn't it?
Yeah, so.
That's what it is. School's just like a Kickstarter, really.
Yeah. So what's being said here is that cause and effect is real and unreal.
Yeah.
It's an appearance like everything else. Has no absolute substance to it. It's empty and it's full.
Yeah.
It's emptiness appearing as fullness.
How do you affect nothing?
Nothing appearing as everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it? I think the word presence was coming in my brain.
Yeah, so presence seems to be another fancy word for awareness and consciousness. And what was said last week as well is that this idea of presence is part of the world of separation. It's part of the me and I am aware. When that I am drops away, it's like there's no awareness. That's part of the dream of me, aware of objects out there. Again, that's another hard one to swallow, because many of the seekers, desperate to find that sense of liberation, enlightenment, wholeness, place a lot of importance on awareness and consciousness, abiding as the self, Atman. And sadly, that's just seemingly perpetuating the seeker, the story of me. deepening my practice of presence, abiding, self-abidance. However, in certain traditions, there appears to be similarities to what's being said here and what's being said there. They're using consciousness as a word for God. A lot of traditions are using the word consciousness as a substitute for God. And the transmission of this message doesn't really use consciousness, because consciousness simply means to know, to be knowing. It's a knowing sort of energy. And when me falls away, there's no knowing anymore. Knowing is part of the separation of subject-object. I am knowing this, I am knowing that. And so when that knowing quality of presence and separation, subject-object, duality, falls away, what's left is this, just this, totally unknowable, totally ungraspable. It's just simply this. It's so simple that the me continuously misses it. And you can call that nothing, you can call it everything, you can call it nothing and everything, or empty fullness, or wholeness, or the divine, the beloved. You know, it's lots of words which are obviously dualistic words, but
so just is.
You could have called it isness, yeah, isness, this. It doesn't really tend to get called now, because now is in relation to past and future, which is also this, apparently.
Because how do you, that's something I'm trying to, how do you navigate that? That's
Yeah.
the doing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yes, exactly. How do I navigate this?
how do I navigate is?
Yeah.
Going, I guess because my, so, because in my brain, my mind has gone into like the practical things of like I need to sleep and eat and clothe myself.
Yes.
I mean, if I was, I mean, there are organisms that just, you know, a flower can just, it just does, like photosynthesize it grows.
Yeah, absolutely.
Humans.
The flower doesn't need a me to bloom, it doesn't need a me to flower. You know, dogs don't need me's to eat, you know. Eating happens. When me falls away, it's no longer I am eating, it's just eating is happening. This is it, you know. And more provocatively, that's already happening, regardless of if a me is in there or not, you know. That is
What makes you different from animals then?
animals.
If you eat, you sleep, you reproduce, you're no different then.
It's just what's happening, yeah.
The difference is, I feel, is that you're in the human form, you have a chance, you know, to reach the highest point, whereas the animal doesn't.
That's a story of me projecting an end goal onto life.
Who's to say that like they haven't already reached the higher? Well, they don't even regard it as high. They just they don't have like animals. They just maybe there's something we've ascribed.
So, again, as far as this is concerned, animals are better off.
Yeah.
Separation is exhausting, it's severe dukkha, and it's tremendously frustrating and dissatisfying. What is longed for is the end of that, but the me can never do that, because it doesn't know what its own absence is. That's why fear of death is the ultimate fear, because it doesn't know that that's its sort of edge, if you like, and it can never know what's on the other side as though there was one. So that separation is tremendously dissatisfying, terrifying and exhausting, and yet it's all it knows, and so it's institutionalized by it, because it is separation. It's not living in separation, it is separation. And so animals actually are better off, apparently, compared to a me, you know. the animals just, again, suggestion, that the animals are just doing, just
Dogging.
eating, dogging, nothing, dogging. not in that sense.
No,
Nothing-
I said that well, right.
Nothing
Wrong
cowing.
word.
Animals don't have the chance to reach moksha, whereas in the human form, which takes many lifetimes, we are in a better position. Unfortunately, we made ourselves suffer due to external stimuli and stuff. In that sense, but we are in a better position as a human form, intellectually and the rest of it, and spiritually and whatever you want to call it. Because animal, you wouldn't get that.